Hi everyone, my name is Cassie and welcome to my channel Bookish for Eyes. Today I'm doing a book review slash a tiny discussion of a book called Tangerine by Christine Mangan. This book came very highly recommended to me by a couple of people, primarily from April from Getting Hygge with It. So thank you for your recommendations. You guys never disappoint. So I get this book 4 out of 5 stars and I really enjoyed it. So in spite of whatever I'm gonna say next and some things that I maybe didn't really like about this book, I overall really enjoyed it and I thought it was really well written. A lot of the people who talked about this book previously said that it was a very slow burning book and had a really slow start, and I completely agree with that. The book started out very slow and it progressed also very slowly, and for the most part for me that tends to be a problem because unless a book hooks me right away, I'm not gonna be willing to sit around and wait for things to pick up. With this book, however, even though it was very slow, I was really into it right from the beginning. And I think it's because the author was dropping little tidbits of information here and there, and I was getting really intrigued because I couldn't really get a full picture of what was going on, but I certainly was starting to kind of put the puzzle pieces together and figuring out what may have happened before. Basically, to sum this book up, this is about a main character named Alice who gets married to a man named John. They end up moving from America to Tangier in Morocco and they start living there. Alice has a friend named Lucy who's her college friend, and her and Lucy were met in college, they were friends in college, and they kind of went their separate ways and they didn't keep in touch. One day Lucy shows up on Alice's doorstep and kind of invites herself in to stay, saying she came for a vacation, though as we find out later on that that's not entirely true, that she may have seeked Alice out. And also this book is narrated by both Alice and Lucy, so you kind of get a glimpse into why they're doing what they're doing, and each one of the chapters that each woman narrates also has a flashback to their college years, so you kind of get to know why their friendship fell apart and also how they ended up friends in the first place, and you start to see that maybe their friendship wasn't even that great from the beginning, you know? Things weren't always perfect and maybe some things were overlooked just because of how fresh and new their friendship was. So you definitely start to see some little sinister details there. Also, Alice's husband John ends up disappearing and we don't really know what happened to him, and that becomes a slow discovery throughout the book. Slow being the key word because this book is very slow burning. And I think it was like over half of the book that things actually started happening where you were like, whoa, okay, I know what's going on here. And full disclosure, I read this book in one sitting, so I keep saying that it's slow, but really I was hooked. I had to know what happened next. So I was very invested in the story. Now, I guess this part is, I don't want to do a spoiler in the review, so I'm gonna keep this discussion minimal, but the ending of this book wasn't what I wanted it to be, and I was left very disappointed, and I know a couple of people said the same thing, that they didn't really like the ending of this book because it didn't really kind of wrap up conveniently, and you felt like something more should have happened at the end, but it didn't. And I don't know, I tend to really dislike books that end in a way that makes me unhappy, just because I feel like naturally things should wrap up and good things should happen to good people and bad things should happen to bad people, and I just want for that to be the case in every single book that I read. But with this one, I did not enjoy the ending, and that made me very, very mad after I finished this book. I just couldn't really believe it. I don't know, things seemed so promising, like they were headed in the right direction near the end, and then once the book was over, I couldn't believe that it ended how it did. So keep that in mind if you're looking forward to reading this book. If I could go back and decide whether I would want to read this book or not, I think I would still read it, but I just know that I would be very disappointed at the end, because I was. So that's it for my Tangerine review. Please let me know if you've read this book, and also please let me know if maybe you're looking forward to reading it now, that you know that the ending is a little upsetting. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.